council members, so I just made it real quick.
All right, we'll stand and say the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Play ball.
All right, we'll call the January 2026 City Council meeting to order at 6 o'clock in 40 seconds. All right. Becky, would you call roll of the previous council?
Carol Bachman. Cheryl Miller. Here. Hannah Smith. Here. Matt Craig. Kyle Michael.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Understand we have a quorum. All right, that takes us to new council member swearing. All right. Polly, we'll start with you.
So I'm going to give you this book of office and you can read it. Stand up. Okay.
Step back out of the way.
Okay. Hold up your right hand. Okay. Go ahead and do that. Okay. I, Polly Berkeley, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Kansas and faithfully discharge the duties of City Council Member of Overbrook, Kansas. So help me God. Okay. And then you just sign that at the bottom right there on that black line. Okay. And then give that back to me and I'll keep a copy for you. All right, Cheryl. Stand up, Cheryl. Raise your right hand.
I, Cheryl Miller, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Kansas and faithfully discharge the duties of City Council members of Overbrook, Kansas, so help me God.
Thank you very much. I'm gonna sign that. And Mayor John Brady.
I, John Brady, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Kansas and faithfully discharge the duties of Mayor of Overbrook, Kansas, so help me God.
Thank you very much. And we'll sign that for you. And I'll make you guys copies. Thank you.
All right, Becky, if you call roll one more time with the new council.
All right. Polly Berkeley. Here. Cheryl Miller.
Here.
Hannah Smith. Here. Matt Craig.
Present.
Kyle. And we have a quorum.
Understand, we have a quorum with 5 members and 2 new elected members and 1 mayor elected. Okay, that takes us to approval of the agenda as presented. We have any changes, corrections, or addition to the agenda as presented?
I think that because we have so many folks here, we could move up the agenda item of the trailer court to earlier in the
Review.
meeting, so we don't have to sit through the whole thing.
Want to move that to
How about public comments? That's F1.
after F1 or within F1?
It would be F1.
I would say before, so then you have public comments after.
Alright, before, we'll do public comments afterwards, alright? Okay. As we move forward, we'll call on, members for comments. And, we'll limit some time on those comments, to 5 minutes. All right. That takes us to any other changes or corrections to the agenda as presented. Okay, we have a motion to approve the agenda as presented with the amendments.
I make the motion to approve the agenda as amended.
We have a motion by Cheryl. I should have asked David, are you ready? All right. We got a second by Polly. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion passes. That takes us to the consent agenda. There is some changes in the previous minutes and corrections to those that's contained in the consent agenda. Just make sure everybody's aware of that. Got a motion to approve the consent agenda, or you want to pull anything out or talk about the consent agenda? All right. A motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion by Cheryl. We have a second. We got a second by Hannah. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. I'm sorry, I did not say all opposed. So. All right. That takes us to item Echo, E1 sewer project updates. I just had the bid specs are back in the back. If any of you would like to read the bid specs, more than happy to do so. They are in the back. The bids are due to City Hall by January 21st, 2026 at 2 o'clock, and there will be a bid opening at that time for the bidders. As far as I know, we've had quite a few people looking at bidding on it, and once we've selected a contractor, obviously we'll move through, and project will go through 2026 into 2027. And just since we have a large crowd here, that's your reminder, this project is to upgrade our sewer lagoon system to include a wetland cell and move our sewer lagoons from discharging to non-discharging, at least most of the time. This is in an effort to correct some of our previous compliance issues. We are in our NPDES permit, which is a National Discharge Pollution Elimination System, NPDES, permit issued by KDHE to complete this project within the parameters defined in our current permit. Then they'll reissue one after that. With that said, the project's $1.829 million. We have 60% loan forgiveness for that particular project, and we expect to be completed with that by 2027. We felt this was a better option, or we have a significant I&I issue, which is infiltration, and basically water getting into the sewer system that shouldn't be in there, either from rainwater, people's home drains, what have you. We know we have a significant number of drains in town that are connected, either perimeter drains or sump pumps or whatever, which are not appropriate connections or illegal connections. But fixing many of those is going to be costly and difficult to find. So this should set us up in the future to be able to address those issues more in a long-term fashion, the I&I issues, the sewer compliance issues as far as discharge, since we'll be non-discharging, eliminates us from having discharge sample collection. So, all right, council, you have any questions on that? Okay, that takes us to what was H2, which is now F1. We had some significant discussions on easement questions at the mobile home park over the last few days. We got a lot of feedback from the public, so I appreciate that. And a lot of feedback from the park owner as well as the mobile home owners as well. So I'm going to summarize what I believe are some of the discussions and options that were discussed in the two meetings that we had on Friday and Monday. And these are in no particular order. These are just options that were discussed. So we can leave the current road easements in place. This would result in the application of the current ordinances, which would allow mobile homes to remain in place until the home was replaced. And at that time, any new structure would need to be placed within property lines. During that time, the original mobile homes remain in a platted map. Platted map would need to be created to identify each lot dimensions. The city would need to work with three mobile home owners and property owners to agree on a path forward on the sewer and water easements. Because obviously there's water and sewer there, and some of those are in the trailers are over them, and many of the easements for water would need to be addressed. So we don't have any agreements on that. We haven't drafted any of those, so we have no idea what that might look like. That's one option that was discussed. Another option discussed was create a new property boundary. An agreement upon cost and transition would need to be determined. The new boundaries would need to include a new plat for the mobile home lots, sizes within the new property lines, but also require some agreement with a few of the mobile home owners for homes outside the new boundaries. The city would need to work with, again, the three mobile homes and property owner to agree on a path forward for the sewer and water easements. That's kind of a standard one. We're going to have to figure those out kind of in a separate discussion because it only affects some differently, and each owner it affects differently as well. So the third discussion we had was to create new easements that allow the mobile homes to encroach into the easement. This could be a permanent easement or a temporary easement. There would be multiple easements to cover water and sewer and mobile home locations. Property owner would still need to define plat and lot sizes. So in all cases, lot sizes and platting needs to be done in some fashion by the property owner. Couple other discussions in there within the mobile home park. The tenants felt that the utilities, including electric service, is responsibility of the property owner. Property owner was to provide those services to each lot with connections at the trailer. This needs to be determined or clarified. But that was the discussion, at least from the mobile home owners. One, I did put it on my list here, one, and in each one of them, I talked about the water and sewer easements. Water easements would need to be maintained by the city. Sewer easement, they're probably, and this would take some additional work and what have you, but maybe a better solution, is to the 3 trailers that the sewer line runs under. We could potentially look at eliminating that section of line, re-engineering a new line that goes down the original platted alley connecting to another sewer line that's not that far away from it, I don't know, 50 feet or 100 feet maybe. That would eliminate, or could eliminate, obviously we need engineering and some design work to validate that, and we would also need to validate with the trailer owners just exactly where their sewer lines connect to and which sewer they connect to. But that would definitely eliminate the easement required for the 3 trailers that the sewer line runs under. And I think we can pull that map up if we need to, but I think we're all familiar with what we're talking about on that. So that's kind of where we're at here from the council perspective. I don't know if we want to approach all 3 of these options and kind of tentatively look at various options as to which one is more advantageous to the property owners and also to the city. There's different costs associated with all of these 3 options for individual folks, as far as obviously new property boundary is going to require purchasing, property owner to purchase some ground. That is a definite expense, certainly more expensive, and then replatting that with because there's more surveys involved in platting, filing with the county, those type of things. The last option is a little bit easier in easement space, probably less platting, less dollars expended, may accomplish the same goal, I guess, is to make some arrangement and understanding of what's going to happen in the future. And obviously, doing nothing, that's just really an agreement. We still are working with the 3 owners for the sewer line on that one as well. So, what's you guys' thoughts on those 3? Did I summarize those as accurately as I can? I'll open it up for public comment here in a minute.
Is number 1 the do nothing plan, or number
The first one I described is the do nothing plan. I mean, leave basically
leave them in place until people move out, and then they're empty, and then
if they're ever moved,
They need replaced.
if they need replaced, if they're ever moved, that could be next year or 10 years from now. Whenever they're moved, they would have to go back onto the property. Really, no easements change, no right-of-ways change. But that doesn't address the sewer question for underneath the 3 of them. So then obviously we would work with the mobile home park owner or the mobile home trailer owners and the park owner to come to an easement agreement and a restructuring or what we're going to do with that sewer line. And that could be one of 2 options. That could be, come up with a plan as to who's paying for what when sewer needs repaired. Or that can be, redoing the sewer altogether and eliminating the need for that particular line.
I think that's a good idea. Were you bringing that up?
I did not, but as I was thinking about the maps,
As you were saying, I thought we should have thought of that 6 months.
I don't know why we didn't think of that.
Is that the re-engineering, the new line that
Yeah.
runs away from the plat? Is that part of plan number 2 or plan number 3?
The re-engineering of that,
That has nothing to do with.
Is that option
the
number 4?
easements and stuff like that. It's-
I was trying to
It's like,
understand.
it's one of its own,
okay,
in my opinion.
yeah.
Right.
The re-engineering of the sewer line that, maybe I should get the map up. Do you have the map?
I'm just curious, out of all of these, which is the most disruptive to the lives of the people that live there?
1 and 3.
This line, eliminating this line here, so we connect this line to this line, we'd have to have it engineered and make sure it'll fit, but we could potentially, the only question I have in re-engineering that line is, we're unclear who put the lines in originally. We know Chad put some of them in, the property owner. But where does each trailer go if we eliminate that line? So there may be some rerouting of lines within the park itself for each of the trailers, and that, I don't know what that's gonna look like. Because we would need to determine where does the service line go from each lot, each mobile home, to the main. And we don't have a map of that, so that needs to be determined. But long-term, probably a better option. More expense probably from the city side. Some expense from the property owner side. I don't know, there may be some minor expense on the mobile home owner side. Don't know. I wouldn't think there'd be much. If, which kind of gets back to my question there at the end.
That would technically be on the landowner's expense, not the homeowner's expense.
Yeah,
'Cause he's
if we're
supposed to
believing
provide
that the
Utility.
property owner is responsible for those utilities, if that is what everybody, they agree to that, then obviously,
I don't know if they have agreements or not. But
I don't know if you have agreements or not. Hopefully, there's something in there.
What was,
Keisha, I know
what
you
was
mentioned
the,
something
what
about
was
that.
the question? I'm sorry.
Do you have agreements with Chad that says he's responsible for supplying you sewer from the main to your trailer? Is it in your agreement?
I'd have to dig through it.
I can't answer that.
I just know from when the trailer I owned previously, the electric meter burnt up and half the power was going into the ground that would supply a college dormitory. And when Westar and everything and the legal, the utility bill and everything came down to it, it was on the property owner, not me.
Okay, understand, we believe that's on the property. There may be some upgrades needed to some of the electrical. We haven't really touched on that too much, but we believe that that is on the property owner's side. So, I don't know why I didn't think of the rerouting the sewer line earlier, but after I looked at the map and thought about the map a little bit more,
Because there's really not much sewer that goes down through there from the
No.
city. It's only goes from, not even all the way to Market, down through there.
most likely we'd have to have an engineering plan, have to be approved from KDHE, so it's not a quick fix, I will tell you that. But it's a more permanent fix. You know, unless the park owner decides to move all of the trailers and mobile homes within the park. I don't think that's the most expensive option for him, most likely, and some of them can't be moved, we've already discussed that. So that kind of throws that option out, but that, again, that's a long-term discussion. So I'm kind of leaning towards a combination of 1 and 3, looking at easements. City granting or selling pieces of ground, that certainly is an option, presents some, we're still back to easements, because we're gonna have to have water easements. What we don't wanna do, and this is just experience, I will tell you, in 1978, the city abandoned 2nd Street over on Walnut and Cedar, and forgot or did not retain the water easement. And when we went to replace the water line, it was very it created quite a bit of problem to obtain a new easement, understanding what's going on there and those kind of things. So we don't want to make that same mistake, is my point.
So your easement would be just to the meters, right?
Correct.
Okay, well, I'm the one that owns that lot. I'm the one that owns the trailer on that lot, so I see no reason to not give you guys the easements for that. Now, I'm sure Chad wouldn't either.
Yeah, obviously, those are discussions we'd have to have individually and come to an agreement and write all that stuff in a legal document. But yeah, I would agree. All right. With that, any other comments from the council? What options you guys want to look at here?
Well, I'm glad you came up with that last option. That's what thinking about it does for me.
I tried to summarize it as succinct as I possibly could.
While we're on this, can I get a copy of the agreement that you signed in 2010? Because I was writing it.
Do I have it here? I should. I didn't see it. It's probably in this pile somewhere. You see it? Nope. Nope. I think it's in this pile. I think. Here it is. Doesn't address everything we're talking about, but addresses some.
Maybe get a copy of this to read it through again.
Yeah, I could make everyone copy. Yeah, we can make copies.
We'd like a copy too. We want a copy too.
I got basically 4 options typed in.
I think you may have to put it on the information list for one.
Might have to
Put it on the information list.
Maybe I can do it now.
We can catch them off guard. John, can we have a copy of that too?
I don't expect us to make a complete decision. There's a lot of work. If we kind of get a general path of where we're going, most of the work is ahead of us to figure out what our plan actually is with all the detail in it. Does not, I didn't put that on there when I typed this up, I thought of it after I typed it up. I think re-engineering the sewer line does make some sense in the fact that we potentially, I don't know, but we potentially could eliminate the manhole that is underneath the steps. And then place a new manhole on the existing line over there. Question would be is capacity and those kinds of things, which that's what we will have to pay engineers to figure out. It appears it'll work, but that's just looking at it on the surface. But anything that is connected to that cross line will have to be reconnected to one of the other lines. So. Thoughts, council?
Well, I think we should go with number 1 for now. And then if the mobile home owner can't sell the property and leaves it, then we go with what you said on here, that, you know, that the city will be informed when the mobile home is no longer there.
Number 1, and sorry, I'm a new kid on the block here, right? So does number 1 create a risk if something were to happen to those sewer lines while people are living?
Certainly does. I mean, yeah, the risk there is still would remain the same, I guess. If something were to happen to the sewer line underneath or near those and would have to be replaced, obviously that's going to be a challenge. I am going to be very intrusive into at least 5 mobile homes only. It would be right outside their back door, in between trailers and underneath them. You know, we don't know what that's going to look like. I mean, but it would be pretty intrusive.
Has there ever been a problem with that sewer line in the past?
We've had not too much. We've had a little bit. The manhole, that line going on over, we replaced and reworked this manhole right up here, and had quite a bit of, had to do some work to the one that's in the co-op parking lot, which that attaches to. But
How old is that sewer line? Is it like from the 50s as well?
all of that section, I believe Danny looked it up, and We did as much rehab as we could in that area, but there wasn't, it seemed to be in pretty good shape, so there wasn't a lot done to any of that sewer down there as far as relining, replacing. Did a little work to some of the manholes, but that's about it in the 2004 sewer project. And we can find out exactly what we did and get all those details, but there hasn't been a ton of work done down there.
That could be good news or it could be bad news.
Could be good, could be bad. I mean, it's a risk, to answer Paula's question.
I mean, if we're, I don't know how urgent the matter is, but it seems like it might make sense to look in the cost associated with doing number 4 to re-engineer things if it's not gonna be super disruptive and could maybe create more of a safe situation without having to.
You could certainly investigate it, get some engineering estimates.
Yeah.
I don't think that was, I think we go ahead and do that regardless. Be my thought.
I like that idea.
Yes, I think there's gonna be a combination of a little bit of, I think there will be some easement work no matter what, because, as I pointed out, where the current location of the meters are at, long-term, most of them are in a pretty good spot. We tried to address that during the water project, but some of them down that middle row, maybe we should or think about relocating those and the property owner being responsible for lines within the park itself.
What's the issue with that?
Well, most of the meters, some of the meters, I say, are located on Elm Street in road right of way. The meter themselves, and then the service line would be park owner's responsibility from there on out. However, some of the meters are located along that first row, about halfway into the park. I don't know, I believe we obtained easements for those, but we put them back where kind of the original ones were, kind of. As best we could, but that may be something we wanna look at as well, is moving them all out to Elm. Again, there'd be some disruption in, where those go, and why you're doing construction on that. That's why I say there may need to be some easement work with, for those particular ones. And there may not, but other than that, everything out on Second Street is all in road right-of-way easements, so there's no issues with water meters on any of that as it currently exists. We would probably want some agreements as to future construction. If we're gonna leave it as is, probably needs to be some agreement as to what's gonna be allowed in that road right of way. I mean, is it current structures? If someone decides they want to build something in that, is we can say it's not allowed unless it's on actual property within boundaries. I mean, that would again be an agreement. I guess I would like to say the work and the effort to fix this is sitting in this room right here. Nobody else is gonna solve this for us. It's gonna be mobile homeowners and the council here deciding, okay, what agreement, what are we doing?
And
Chad's gonna have some influence in this as well, no
I
doubt.
think you'd have a lot.
And he may have a good portion of it. So,
So I wonder if maybe we couldn't possibly go ahead and do the public comments and then maybe come
Okay.
back to this, or is that?
I don't know that there's any decisions to be made here, it's just kind of giving a direction.
Yeah, I think I'd like to
All right,
formally hear from everybody here in the format that we discussed
Okay.
earlier and see what kind of
all right,
look for.
that's fine. We'll take some, public comments. Anyone want to comment?
Before you do comment, I just want to say, I am trying my very best to type everything that you say, so if you give me a second, I can get it all in there.
Should they say your name?
Yeah, that would be helpful too.
My name's Russell Mitchell. I attended the most recent council meeting and personally heard the comments that were subject of this discussion that caused these meetings. These comments were heard not only by me, but every council member and all city officials present. I gained absolutely nothing by fabricating or exaggerating anything I said. The remarks made were insensitive and taken together led to one single unavoidable conclusion. That conclusion aligned closely with the goals outlined by the city's 2031 comprehensive plan, which identifies certain areas as undesirable and targeted for redevelopment. As you may have dismayed or tried to discredit my statements, but the reality is that everyone in that room knows what was said and what it implied. Failing to acknowledge that or address it was only the failure to represent the people affected. You guys have made the right direction in what I've heard in this meeting tonight. Only thing I had to request is I believe the area is not zoned to a trailer park. I believe it needs to be rezoned to a mobile home park. With that, I also have one other request. The second request I have is that the city, throughout the night, discuss and adopt and approve policies and tools necessary to record, publicly broadcast all open city meetings online, ensuring transparency and public access for all residents. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, do we have any other public comment?
Carrie Davis, I own trailers number 9 and 13 out there. 13 is a rental. I would like to see this progress fairly rapidly because a lot of people are pretty stressed about stuff. And I understand if you can't make a decision tonight, but I'm thinking by next 30 days that we ought to be able to at least find out what plan you're really thinking about going with, whether it's 1, 2, 3. Chad is just now being able to read those. Do you have any comments, Chad?
Not this time.
Okay,
I'm gonna have to
okay.
look this over.
Can he get a paper copy of?
Sure.
I'll give you my.
And I just put those together as a rough outline. So I don't want that to be taken as this is exactly what's
Right.
going on.
Yeah.
It's just a rough outline of what I thought was discussed.
So there's room for adding and subtracting to.
Absolutely. If there's I would ask if you guys have other thoughts, other plans, that would you write them down and send them into the city so we can have a documentation, okay, let's get this thought out.
Okay, and I have one other comment concern. When it comes to the trailer park, can there please, the city council, at least contact 2 or 3 of us and make sure that some of us are at the council meeting when this is discussed in any way,
Absolutely.
shape, or form.
If you could make sure, what that form of contact you would like, would be, and whom that would be, if that's all of you, make sure we have that list. So I tried, hopefully, we got all your names and numbers and contact information, but if we have a comprehensive list, we can certainly do that.
Okay. And one thing I would like to ask, well, it's actually asking Chad, but it has to do with what you guys discussed prior to him being here. They were talking about, getting a idea within the boundaries of how much everybody had in their yard, you know, forward, backward, all that kind of thing. So John had said if the homeowners wanted to put together our yard agreement, so to speak, 5 foot in the back and then the other over to 5 foot within the next trailer, if they would be okay with that, but we need to do that with your permission, obviously.
To have it put on paper.
And get it on paper, plot it out, and then we can hand it to the city so they can at least look at that. Are you good with that?
Yep, you bet.
Okay.
Also like to get,
And we'll get you a copy of that as well when.
if you can help us get where the sewer lines are for each trailer, which direction they're going, water lines, all that would be great too.
The water lines are all new, so.
Yeah, I think we have a pretty good idea where they're at. But we may not know, this is one thing we may not know, is once, especially the three in the back, once they leave the meter, we didn't replace, we connected to the existing line, so once it's at past the meter, we connected to it maybe 5 or 6 feet out from that, but
you moved the meters by like several hundred feet, so you should know where from the meter now to the old meter at least.
Right, we assume it's a straight line, I mean, it's an assumption, but not always the case is what we found in reality. All right. Okay, any other public comments? Okay, I'll go with, one more time, any other public comments? If not, I think, if I can summarize what I'm hearing is the city will investigate, contacting our engineering firm and at least start looking at the possibility of relocating, sewer section between, here, baby, I'll put this in the notes.
Yeah.
On this map, it is B21 and B7. And reconnecting B21 to basically the line that goes from J2 to J1.
B, J1, B, or whatever.
In other words, just go straight through the
Yes.
alley
Yes.
and potentially eliminating the manhole underneath
There's
the
nothing in the way.
back stairs. That might be a win for everybody.
Right.
Okay. All right, there may be some other code compliance questions. I don't know that we need to talk about that here. Some electrical, Chad was gonna take a look at some of that and take a look at those things. And we do need to come up with some agreement, and I do believe that's a owner discussion and park owner discussion as to where the responsibility lies on that stuff, because I don't think it's clear. But again, that's you guys' discussion. City does not have any influence in that one way or the other. Anything else that I missed?
I do have a question.
Yes.
Do you guys have any space here, like, if us homeowners do want to get together to put out a plan or anything where, that we can meet?
Sure, the library has a conference room.
But you have to pay.
No, you don't.
Oh, you don't? It's free?
Yeah,
The
you can
conference
use the
room is-
conference room.
It has about 10 chairs, I think.
Yeah.
If you need a bigger space, you can,
We can
Talk to-
manage with 10.
okay.
What'd you say?
We can manage with 10 chairs.
Oh, okay.
You can certainly, I mean, if there's opportunity to use City Hall.
Yeah. You have to use it when the library's open.
Yeah,
you know,
that's a
if
bad
you needed to
thing.
meet during an evening or something like that.
I forgot
it's a
about
possibility.
TJ's has a back room too.
True.
Yes, okay. Okay, thank you.
If you need some spaces to meet, we can certainly
Well, they've got those too.
make sure we get arrangements for that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, have no doubt we'll be calling you in as a group or individually for some discussions. There's a little bit of uniqueness about each one of the 9 trailers we're discussing. And then some long-range plans that would probably be helpful as well. All right, with that, if we have no other public comments, if we have no other discussion on that, council, you have any discussion on this? Okay. I want to be sure we leave this meeting with some good understanding of where we're headed. Chad, most likely we will reach out to you and have some discussions on what your thoughts are on this sewer, what information you may know, so we can, the more information we can give our engineering firm, the more that helpful that will be. So, and we may need some cooperation. I believe there's some ways that we could put some tracer wires and those kinds of things from the mobile home to the main and kind of do some locating and to validate some of that stuff. But obviously we're gonna have to contact you guys to do that if we need that.
John?
Yeah.
I think we have the information on where the taps are on that particular sewer main that runs underneath the trailers.
Yeah, we know where the taps are, we may not know exactly what direction and which trailer it serves.
Right.
I don't, those three trailers that are sitting on the sewer going east over there to the edge, I don't think they're tapped into that sewer.
Well, that's what we were discussing, we think they're tapped into the south one.
Yes, I
That's
agree.
what we think.
I dug one up, I know one is,
So-
I hit it, so, I know one of them goes all the way
Well,
to
that's
south.
the information we'll probably wanna gather from you as to, okay, what do we think, what do we know? So that may mean looking at the front row discussion, you know. And if nothing's hooked to it, that would be even better. All right. Okay, with that, we're gonna move on, if everybody's comfortable with that. We're gonna move on to G1. Maintenance action items. Do we have any action items?
Couple of things. One is, we're looking to get a brush hog attachment for the skid steer. Reasoning behind this is once the wetland sill at the lagoons is developed, the north end of it will take quite a bit before water actually reaches up to that and stays in that area. So we're gonna have to maintain that and keep that mowed. And it's probably going to be a marshy area. So I think the skid steer with motor attachment on it would be the best solution for that. And we can also most certainly utilize it by keeping the spillway around the city lake maintained and mowed. It's been kind of neglected for a while.
Historically had hired that done, is that correct?
Yeah, and the other thing is, every 4th of July, we always have the dam of the lake mowed, contracted out, so we would be able to take care of that as well. I have a couple of attachments here. This one here is a Titan. It's $9,800 for it. Another one here, a Stout brand. They both seem to be real heavy duty. I'm familiar with the Titan ones. This one is roughly $6,500 for that attachment. I haven't reached out to any of the big manufacturers, John Deere, Caterpillar, any of those, to see what their prices are. I expect them to be much higher.
Maybe I'd like to see a comparison between what the cost is to have those people, you know, that we've hired in the past to do that compared to this, and we see how many years it would take to pay off that amount of money.
Right.
Could you do that comparison?
Yeah.
Also, I'd add to that, probably get on the Purple Wave, see if you can find a used one. Because as little as it's gonna be used.
Oh, it will be used quite a bit, actually.
Okay. I don't want to interrupt Danny, but when, just understand when the wetland cell is put together, there'll be, the dam on those is going to be kind of like the dam that's 4-to-1 slope. It's going to be much like the actual dam at the lake. They're going to be about 11 feet tall. So, and we will have to mow that. The other thing is internally to that, if we're to the cell itself, typically we won't mow it all the time, but you will have to mow it enough to keep the brush. You can't have any trees or anything like that in the wetland cell, so it will have to be mowed and maintained. If there's water in it, obviously that's we're not going to be mowing it, and you're not going to be growing that. But if trees do develop out there and those kinds of things, you're going to have to drain it down, get them out of there, and do that. So just keep that in mind. We're unclear what that mowing is going to look like. Currently, city staff does mow the lagoons, but are we going to be mowing it with the zero turns? I don't know.
That's pretty steep.
Maybe. Could happen, could have not happened. So,
It's over a year away. So.
yeah. So we got, it's not a
Yeah,
crisis,
no, it's
crisis
not
today.
something that I'm looking for a decision on tonight. I just wanted to start the ball in motion. Things seem to take a while, so I'm just putting that out there. And then the other thing that we were looking at is this sand spreader. We've had it rebuilt. It was used when we bought it. At this time, it is working fine, but threw some numbers together for a couple of different options, basically the same style and brand. They're roughly about $6,800. And then I don't have any material on a stand for the spreader. I'm leaning towards a portable stand that mounts underneath the spreader, and it just has legs that fold out, and so that way you can set it anywhere. It's not a permanent structure that you have to keep it in one place all the time. So there, where we needed to move it to a different location for whatever reason, we can do that. And they're in the ballpark of about 5,000 as well. So just a couple of items there to what you guys think about. And
We'll put a plan together and provide some more information. The equipment plan, right now, we only have one, the Mini X to pay off. So our equipment plan does have dollars to buy some equipment, once we make the decision to purchase equipment. So, I don't think we have a lot of dollars coming out of that. long range, so we'll try to put a plan and
Yeah.
present that next council meeting, is that fair?
Yeah, my equipment budget is in very good standing, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever purchase the sewer cam?
Yes, and I have, there it is.
We're gonna try it out on our sinkhole at Jack's.
And that is in my
I thought
report.
that got fixed, but it didn't.
Well, we dug it up to validate and just, you wanna give us an update on that, Danny? I don't need to talk.
Yeah, the little sinkhole that developed up there at Jack's, now, Rock Creek Cafe, exposed it, found that it's an old abandoned storm drain, part of the old storm drain system. Not sure why it wasn't filled back in instead of just covered over, but, so now that we have our camera, we'll be able to run that down through there and see just exactly how far these culverts go to, there's one that runs to the north towards the highway, one that runs west across Maple Street, and then there's a third one that goes south. It looks like it probably just goes to the newer style storm drain boxes that are right there on that same, this is all on the east side of the street right there. There's no inlet in the storm drain, the new storm drain box, it's just the concrete wall of the vault itself. So it's not dumping into there, so I think it's a dead end that goes to nowhere really. But, and then the other day after we got quite a bit of rain, I went and checked it and it was dry. It wasn't taking on any water, there was no water running through it. So, but, I propose that after we camera it and find out just how big of an area this is, that we either fill it full of gravel or so much gravel and then put flowable fill concrete in there to fill up all the voids and everything, and then we'll put cold patch back over the top of it, because it's right on the back side of the curb is where this is at. So
Okay.
Cold what?
Cold patch.
Cold patch.
Cold patch.
yeah.
All right, anything else, Danny?
I believe that's it.
All right.
No more action items. I guess I do need to let you guys know, we've been having issues with well 2 and we haven't had it online for a year or more now. So, got in touch with a couple of different contractors. Long story short, Sergeant Drilling will be here tomorrow morning. They dropped that on me first thing this morning. But, yeah, so they'll be here tomorrow morning. They're gonna pull the well and, check everything out, the pump, the motor, all that. And they will camera to see.
Do we have a cost on that, Danny?
$5,000.
Okay. All right, is that, we probably need to vote on that.
Even though they're coming now?
Even though, well, that's what I say, we comfortable spending that, if not, we need to call them, tell them, yeah, we're not doing that, so.
And I apologize, I figured it was a necessity, it was something that needs to be taken care of. We've got this well sitting out there that we're just not even running or using because it's producing horrible looking water, and I do everything I can to keep our water
Yeah.
the best quality as possible, and
I would agree it's a necessity.
Alright,
I would move that we allow.
alright, move that we allow up to 5,500.
Yeah.
5,500 for Sergeant Drilling coming tomorrow. Alright, we've got a motion by Kyle, we have a second on that,
I'll second.
second by Cheryl. Any other discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Alright, motion passes 5-0. All right, just wanna make sure we got that recorded somewhere. All right. Okay,
Thank you guys, and I apologize for the short notice.
all right,
It was
yes,
short on my end as well.
thank you. Okay, OPR action items, we got, we've been discussing, Danny and Travis got the divider, knocked down between the, two bathrooms. So this is a proposal to replace both doors and make them at least ADA compliant doors, for the two bathrooms at the concession stand for 59, is that what it is? 59.82. That's them cutting them out, putting them in, doing everything.
They're doing all the work.
Is that painting as well?
No.
Okay, we have to
Painting would be
paint.
done by us, but we would want to try to color match as best as we can to the existing building that has murals on it.
Okay.
Not currently, no. We just used the one company that we had already had a bid from, the gymnasium. I can get more bids if necessary.
We always like to get, you know, a few, so.
Yeah, usually a few. The reason why we didn't go with the other bids that we got for the gymnasium for the same project is because at the time when we got the bids for the gymnasium to do the exact same thing, they were pricing us about $5,400 and the other company was pricing us around $12,000. So the other company in Gary was just a lot more expensive, but I can get bids from them as well.
And the goal was to have this completed by March first.
Can you speak up a little bit?
The goal was to have it completed by March first, before high school baseball started. So the bathrooms
So we'd
would
want to
be
get
done.
it done quicker.
We can get more bids if you want.
Yeah.
What she said made sense, you know, if one's.
They're not gonna custom doors every day. I mean, they're not a big deal to have done anymore.
Yeah, it's really cutting the concrete. Is,
I'll get a custom sheet metal.
Who?
Custom sheet metal.
Custom sheet metal, okay. I think the only other place that we contracted was, like overhead door or something. I can't remember. Is that the guys that
TFI
I?
commercial door.
TFI, okay, so get a bid from TFI Commercial Door.
Oh, commercial door, I think was the person who gave us the bid, that was a lot higher last time.
We'll let them bid on it, sounds like.
Okay, and then the last TFI commercial door, and what was the one that you had said, Matt?
Custom sheet metal.
Custom sheet metal, okay.
Alright. We
I'll
want
have
to,
that for you next time.
we want to wait till the next council meeting, or if she gets additional bids and they're all higher, you want to approve this
I'll
one?
let it go, yeah.
Okay,
Let it
is
go.
there a motion then?
I'll make it one.
Alright, we'll move to, let me see if I get this right, Bailey. Approve this current bid, if it remains the lowest bid after two additional bids are received.
I second.
Alright, got a motion, did you get that, Bailey?
Still got.
Just let us know when you're ready.
Okay, Kyle moves to make a motion to approve the current bid if it remains the lowest bid after initially received. Cheryl seconds.
Two additional bids. From TFI and Custom and whoever else you can get. If you get more than that, that's fine, but at least two.
Can I ask a follow-up question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so if there's a company that bids lower, do you want me to just go ahead and go with the lowest company then, or do you want me to bring the whole thing back to you guys and we reconvene?
Great
It's March
question.
first, to bring it all the way back to us and wait until the February meeting, you're just gonna make the March goal.
How about if you get one that's lower, we just have a special meeting, not wait till next month?
Okay.
Yeah. So we can act on it
Alright,
quick.
and see if we can bid, have the bids back by Friday next week.
Friday next week, got it.
That way, we're not waiting forever for bids. If they want a bid or they don't.
I I think of the two new people you ask for bids, you need to ask how quickly they can move on it too, because the goal is, because even if they bid low, but they can't do it till July, we don't want.
Right, so what the time frame for installation is? Pending weather, I'm sure it'll be pending weather. Okay, we got a motion and we got a second on that. We did, I don't think we voted on it.
No.
Alright, all in favor? All opposed? Alright, motion passes 5-0. Alright, takes us to G3, pool action items.
I don't have any action
Okay.
items, but would you like a follow-up from the previous discussion we had about the flange?
Yeah, we're still looking for them.
Yes.
Or we're gonna make one.
We'll make one. John is working on making a flange.
Okay.
So, we're getting someone to make a flange. All right. We have discovered that that is some sort of weird metric flange. A standard flange does not work. Split flanges.
I don't know what a flange is, so forgive me for that.
Okay. It's where the two pipes pull together. Okay. So, we'll get that taken care of. That will, they may not be terribly cheap. They might be $100 a piece, and we need 4 of them.
Well, but the
I don't know.
original cost they gave us was really high. And remember what it
Contact
was.
custom should go online too, they could probably build a custom.
I think we can find some flanges of some kind. All right. Public safety action items. We have none. That takes us to the financial report, G5A. All right. Becky has been working super diligently this week to look at the financial reports with Brian to get the year-end stuff taken care of.
We spent 2 days, Brian and I spent 2 days going over all this stuff, and so I don't have it the monthly for December, but this is the yearly for 2025. This is the final everything.
You can see last month we had some negatives. We've corrected all the negatives. 2025, we'll take a look. General is not looking terrible. We started at 495, we ended at 425. Water, we'll take a look at that closely in 26. But we started with 245, ended with 172, so we're spending more than we're bringing in. Law, we discussed last time. We are significantly over there. We started out with 5,000. We ended with 427.69. But we know that we spent quite a bit more than we wanted to in that, or at least our mill levy. Equipment reserve, we didn't spend much in equipment reserve. As far as expensive, we paid our normal things on that. O&M, we started out at 103. I should let you read this, Becky, because I'm struggling now which line is which.
It's 133.
133? Yeah, that helps. Parks and Rec, did pretty good, we're a little over, we got that adjusted. One change, and I think we'll look at in 2026, is our budgeted fund in Parks and Rec. We're gonna move out to some of that out to a non-budgeted fund and that will be our fees that we collect for summer camp. Is that correct, Becky?
Yes, that's the new fund down there, 20 call programs. That's the summer camp program and the winter camp program. So that won't affect with her budgeted fund. Because that generates its own revenue.
So that takes us to Special Highway. We got 114, we started out with 158, we ended up with 114. And we started with 114 in streets and ended up in 84, so we did our project. We do need to probably think about what we're gonna do this year, if we're gonna do any chipping and sealing. I would suggest we do someplace. And if we're gonna do that, we probably need to get those bids fairly soon here within the next couple months, get that ironed out. I don't think we will have enough dollars for, another paving project. Our last paving project was 123, is that what it ended up being?
I haven't paid any attention to how they finished out here.
Josie's.
Yeah. So. Okay. So that takes us to geo bonds. You can see we spent a whole bunch of money in geo bonds. This is the first year of our water payback. Might remember that our water payback is 2 geo bonds, one at 135, 700 and something, and the other one's at 55.28, I think, or something like that. Basically 142,000. That's our payment for water for the next 40 years. 38 maybe now. So that's going to be a big chunk out of that each year. I will say Becky got a lot of that ironed out as far as transfers and where we're paying, and so we know where all that stuff's coming from. Okay, library is self-explanatory. Whatever we get in, we send to them as long as they're not over budget authority. Law equipment reserve still has some money in it. We transferred some out of there, that's some expenses that came out of law into the reserve, so technically they do have $9,000 in that. City Park Lake pays for a lot of our mowing. Started out with 31, we're ending up with 35, so pretty good there. Sewer, we're not in terrible shape on sewer. Got some things coming up for the sewer project. And then obviously if we're gonna look at what we're doing at the mobile home park, we'll need to address that, which would come out of sewer or sewer or O&M reserve. Okay, takes us to pool. We spend a lot of money at the pool, and we don't make a lot back, so, but there you go. It was a pretty good year for the pool though, overall. Water sewer debt payment reserve, that is our KDHE loans that are part of the water project. We have one loan that has, 18-ish years to pay, maybe 17 years to pay. And that is transferred from water into that, and then we pay out of that. Employee benefit reserve, started at the 20, we ended at 2298. We hadn't typically been using that fund, but we've been using that to pay some insurances and putting some money into that for some of the insurances that we decided to pay for. And then the 197, if you wanted to know water distribution project, I believe, Becky, if I'm correct, that is what we have received and paid out for the sewer project to date. Is that correct?
I think so, yes, because I have to change that name to capital projects, because Brian, the accountant, says that it shouldn't be named the specific project. It needs to be changed to capital project, so we don't have to change it, and that way it stays the same. So, yes, that is right.
And part of that is, when we did the water project, they wanted us to break it out specifically into the water project, so we just named it water project. Probably could have renamed it capital projects at the time, but they wanted it specifically having its own fund. It's not that requirement for the sewer project, but Becky just, thought that would be the easiest way to keep track of it all in one location. So. And programs, we talked about the programs fund. That'll be a new one you'll be seeing. The programs fund is essentially going to be our summer/winter child program for summer camps and winter camps and any other camps that we put together in Parks and Rec space. Really mainly to keep it out of a budgeted fund. Help us with that.
I do want to say Brian and I did work. We worked 2 solid, strong days on figuring some of this out because there was some stuff that was off, and we got it figured out. And we have a plan set in place that he's going to help me review every month to make sure we're right where we're supposed to be. But he thought we looked good, and he does lots and lots and lots of cities. So he thought we were in a good place.
All right, any questions on the report? Sorry, Becky, I didn't mean to talk over your report.
No, that's great.
So, overall, we did a fairly good job in budgeting space. We had an unexpected expense in law, and we'll be working to correct that in 2026. But appreciate everybody's hard work in the city, and especially on this report. This is our first full year, I would say, in Denali. Our new software that we approved and implemented from QuickBooks. And we've learned a lot, but it's starting to pay some dividends on our budgeting. If there's any particular budgeting you guys would like to see, anything particular expense you would like to see, let Becky or Bailey know. They can run you some reports and show you what those expenses look like. If you want expenses versus revenue or whatever. All right. And at the bottom of that is our transfers.
Oh, no, I didn't. Here's our transfers right here. The new tab.
If you want to look at all of our transfers, that's what it's all of our transfers, ins and outs and where they're going. We've made some adjustments to that, and we'll make some more adjustments to that in 26 as needed. So, our rates go into effect for water, which will affect that's why we're going to take a look at our 2026 throughout the year. We'll take a look at that on a monthly basis and see how our revenue versus expenses come out. One thing to keep in mind in water is still it's a little it's a little bit difficult. Just remember that revenue in there is still, I think sewer is still, or not, trash is still wandering around in there. Is that correct?
Trash is in sewer.
Is in sewer. Okay.
Right? Oh, well, then not here.
Okay. Trash is in.
Where do you pay that out of? Does it come out of water or does it come out of sewer? No, it comes out of water. You're right, John.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I thought it was in water.
I've still not recovered from 2 days of counting with Brian.
So revenue and expenses, there's about $100,000 a year in trash service that's in there. Something we might want to consider breaking out at some point in time. But it's hard to look at it on this report because it is buried in water. So we're doing a little bit better on that. Our sewer, our trash mostly pays for itself. Mostly, I say. We've gotten that within about $10,000 of revenue, and expense for that. Cause we have all the city dumpsters, fire department, and things that we, charge, but obviously we don't get revenue for that, so. Okay. Get a motion to approve the treasurer's report. Any questions, comments, concerns? All right.
Appreciation.
A motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Hannah.
Second.
We got a second by Polly. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion passes 5-0. How you doing, Bailey?
Good.
All right. All right. That takes us to the administrative action items. G6A. We get the opportunity, you guys get the opportunity to determine the new council president. Current council president is Matt. For those of you that are new, the council president would fill in as mayor if I was unable to perform whatever duties I may need to perform. So you run the meetings and have that responsibility if I was unable to do so.
But that just means running the meetings or running the town?
Well, I mean, potentially, if someone resigned or something, the council president would run it until they appointed someone.
Do you feel like doing that again?
Sure. Well, in 2 years, I haven't had to do anything yet.
Yeah, I know.
You just jinxed yourself, you know that, right?
Yeah, you can be president, put it on your resume, and, you know.
All right, we have a nomination by Cheryl, it sounds like, for Matt.
Yeah.
Any other nominations?
No. Wanna do it?
All right. No one else is gonna nominate, and I guess we'll vote. All in favor of Matt being council president?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 4-1. Matt opposes himself.
Who was the second to Cheryl?
What's that?
Kyle. I believe it was Kyle.
If it wasn't.
All right. All right. That takes us to, we got an executive session, discuss non-elected personnel.
Do we have to have two different ones, or just one?
I should have mentioned this earlier. I don't know if we will have the second one or not.
Oh, okay. I don't see an attorney here.
So. All right. So can I get a motion to go into an executive session for 15 minutes?
I make that motion.
For non-elected personnel. Bailey got all the wording for that?
Already typed in.
All right. With the council, clerk, assistant clerk, and the chief.
Everybody else